welcome to Curiosity Unleashed. Time sweeps, morning, Richard, from a very hot England to a hopefully very nice Mexico.
It is. We're in a new city today.
Oh, good, good. We're just going to quickly touch. We had an interesting conversation around this, and I think it's something I'm feeling quite a lot. I'm doing lots of planning around a big move, and even experiencing this. Well, it's a heat wave in England, so everything stops or everything is becomes more difficult to navigate. Um, all the sports and this and yeah, it just and it's interesting because as we kind of touched on, I'm going to give it to you because we really spoke about the concept of a pilgrimage, or a challenge. If I really want to experience something, if I know that the experience is something that is important to my maybe even psyche, to the rebalancing of my inner world, then I'm going to do whatever I need to be able to have that experience even through challenges. I'm not going to just turn around and, go back home. Um, we kind of touched on the Woodstock aspect from the late 60s where everybody made it there. um,
Hmm.
you know, because they were determined to have that experience. And I think that's something that we get convinced to give up on quite often in our current society or the world that we live in. Yeah, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, again, as we've look at experiences as for us, it's travel, and we change as we different locations, and sometimes we turn back to a previous one as we are, various moving around Mexico. And the previous place we looked at it once we said, oh, we're not coming back here. We come back a different person.
Mm,
We change. So we change back to our favorite city here, Morelia. This is like, well, it is. It's coming like coming home. We're coming back to the same place we rented before, very fortunate available for us. So it's interesting to come home after being away for 5 months, and we've changed again. So what's and for many of us, these pilgrimages, these events, maybe there's achievements we want to have. Not so much the achievement, we want to have the experience of going through to like we talk about martial arts, for example. Someone
mm,
who works very hard with good mentors to become a black belt. And it's a black belt, but who they became to become the black belt.
yeah.
Came to become say a black belt instructor. It
Hmm.
is an experience. And like you said, it's one thing to know something, another thing is to teach it.
Yeah.
But what's happening today is a lot being sort of interfered with of, travel plans. They're making everything rather difficult, and a lot of times things are being asked, well, you can't do this, and so it for those who even think about it are being sort of paralyzed, and
Mm,
so they're not able to have it, and they're just it's and that gets hijacked into something else that they're designed.
yeah.
We want to have our experience and by our determination, we have to look at those new little obstacles that are popping up, little regulations and little nuances in the media
Mm,
and nuances in things that sort of sidetrack, realize you had planned to do something, book, um, create something, which is an experience and again, but you somehow put it aside and you don't know where time went.
yeah.
So what I want to work on is just this distraction. What is stopping you when you really put something down and write it down? Obviously, that's a key point.
Mm,
What working on the results of that so you stay on track to have that, even if you complete it, it's your choice. It's not someone else's intercepted that became yours.
yeah.
So so when just let's work on that because it's having that we're being intercepted. We're being not allowed to have this experience. Because in that experience, I'm going to say go to events. So we've all gone to major trainings. You meet people. You meet incredible people. I
Mm,
went to California on a whim and to an event, and I've met people I'm still in touch with. Like 12
Yeah.
years later. So I
Yeah.
became somebody different, but I also, incredible relationships. So that's the point of when we don't have these experiences, not only who do we come, who do we meet? Who do we meet that become the next mentor to the
Yeah.
next person that or we could mentor? So
Yeah. And I think I'm just gonna before we switch over to the time sweep, I'm just gonna mention kind of there's this thing that keeps coming up for me around, with this, I have this, I envision this journey, this pilgrimage. And as I start planning on it or I start embarking on it, challenges come up. We've been talking about the
mm,
Alchemist, it's kind of well put out in that kind of hero's journey concept, where there's a return, but the returned version of myself isn't the one that left. And things
yeah.
didn't go
Hmm.
to plan. Um, because if I didn't get held up in the crystal shop, I wouldn't have been able to transform in that way, not just my own life, but the crystal merchant's life. Having those conversations, those dialogues, which doesn't just change my perspective, but changes how those around me. So it's got this ripple effect, isn't it?
Yep.
But I
Yep.
find in a lot of what we are faced with these days, and maybe I come from a different culture, living in a different environment at the moment, so I'm not sure if it's this environment, but there's always a oh, but don't take the risk, don't take the risk,
Mm,
and it creates a paralysis, because then you just kind of go and you shut down and you fall into that how do I feel okay? Like I can't have the experience, so I need to soothe myself with something,
yeah. Yeah.
Amazon or whatever, or I go, find more lack in a way, in that I don't get to live life as I choose because I'm
Yep.
told I'm not allowed to. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, let's go with that and clear that. So you look at
Okay, I'm just going to
staying
switch around.
what
So whoever wants to kind of pick up on this, I'll put the link in the bottom. It's a free sign up. It's just I keep them all in the same place. So see you on the other side.